Now, in the Bible, we have 4 eyewitness accounts of the life of Jesus: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. John is very unique. The other 3 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, start on a very kind of human level. You've got a mother having a baby in a manger. John says, no, we're not going to do any of that. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning, to the spark that started the universe. I want you to start there. If John were writing today, I think he would say something like, okay, so you've heard about the Big Bang. Well, I'm here to tell you that the Big Bang wants to come over for lunch. Because it turns out that spark, that power that started the universe is not some impersonal force. It's a personal God who actually wants to walk among us and get to know us. Isn't that incredible? And so that's where John kind of draws our mind. Even the first line of John, he echoes the line of Genesis chapter 1. We heard the Apollo 8 crew reading, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And that's exactly how John starts here. And again, there's something about creation that I think points us to the divine, points us beyond ourselves. And really, it's set as this great signpost to our Creator. It's not about stopping at the beauty of creation, but allowing that to be a signpost that teaches us about who this God is. Reflecting on different ways to approach that, a great author and theologian, C.S. Lewis, wrote a good amount about this. And he says there's something about our actual physical reality. Our biology points us to the divine. In his book, Mere Christianity, he kind of talks about our biological desires and how they connect with reality. So he says, we are biologically wired to feel thirst. And the fact that I can feel thirsty points to a reality that there's something that is called drink that exists that could actually quench that thirst. Or the fact that I am wired to feel hunger comports with the reality of food that can actually satiate that hunger. Whether or not I can get it is another question, but the fact that my desire is actually linked to something real. And then in Mere Christianity, he writes this: if I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. The fact that God has placed this eternity in our hearts, that when we feel that awe and wonder when we walk around creation, it actually compels us to move beyond creation to our Creator. I think that's what was echoed in both of those astronaut crews 60 years apart. Of course, not everyone has thought like this. I studied philosophy in college, and I was kind of running through some of the philosophers that have written about this kind of subject. And one famous one, Baruch Spinoza, he wrote that given the natural order, creation itself, there is nothing that we can know about God. It's just nature. Nature does not point beyond itself. God is completely unknowable. Another philosopher, Immanuel Kant, he wrote that he kind of took it in a different way. He said, well, given our finite mortality as humans, there is this infinite gulf between me and any divine being. There's no way that I could reach this God. God is completely unreachable. He's infinite and I am finite. There's no way that I could pass that gulf. So we could summarize it. Spinoza says that God is unknowable. Kant says God is unreachable, but John writes that God has come near. What I love about that is on one level, both Kant and Spinoza are exactly correct. In my own power and my own strength, left to my own devices, my own wisdom, I can't know God. I can't reach God. There's no way that I could climb up the mountain and grasp the infinite. Right? There's no way that. So in one way, left to our own devices, those first 2 philosophers are exactly correct. The only hope would be if that God on top of the mountain one day decided to come down into our world. If he said, I actually do want a relationship with my creation, so I'm going to initiate. If God stepped into the pages of our story, then maybe we would have a chance of getting to know him. And that's precisely the foundation of the good news that we believe in. That the God, the spark that started it all, actually came into our life, came into our world so that we could get to know him. So with that, let's jump in to John chapter 1.